you know, and not a time to get frightened. You know, you have to do what you have to do. This is dire.
Remember when Jim Carrey was just the goofy guy from Ace Ventura?
You got to speak, man. This is not a time to clam up.
Carrey didn't just criticize Trump, he absolutely demolished him.
I just want to express it in a positive way. You know, I mean, I want to turn everything painful into art.
With a combination of razor-sharp wit and brutal artwork that has everyone talking, from calling him a rabid dog to painting him as a wicked witch. The comedian has transformed into an anti-Trump warrior, and his latest takedown is setting the internet on fire. Carrey's not holding anything back in this political feud that's getting more intense by the day, and The Mask has transformed into something his 90s fans never saw coming. Well, those days are history, folks. The rubber-faced comedian who made millions laugh with his wacky physical comedy in Ace Ventura, a fierce political warrior who's not afraid to bite.
I can break bread with anybody in this country. I love people in this country. I love the heartland of this country.
Carrey's journey from goofball to anti-Trump crusader didn't happen overnight. Before he was painting scathing caricatures of the orange president.
It has nothing to do with that. You know, these really negative forces like the Steve Bannons of the world are convincing us that we're separate.
But these early comments barely registered on the public radar. At Hollywood fundraisers, he'd crack jokes about Republican policies. Carrey was just dipping his toes into political waters. During the Bush administration, he occasionally made subtle jabs at politicians. Most fans were too busy quoting "alrighty then" to notice Carrey's evolving political conscience. But something was bubbling beneath the surface. After battling depression for years, Carrey began exploring spirituality and questioning societal structures. In interviews around 2008, while Carrey was making us laugh on screen, his personal life was taking him down a path of deeper reflection. He started mentioning concerns about corporate influence in politics, but these comments were usually overshadowed by questions about his upcoming comedy projects.
It's hard to understand what's going on. I mean, I really, you know, one minute you feel like, oh my gosh,
His relationship with activist Jenny McCarthy also exposed him to various social causes, planting seeds that would later bloom into full-blown activism.
It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're different. It doesn't mean, you know, the trouble with what's happening right now is these...
Carrey, like many comedians, initially treated it as just another joke. The real turning point came with the 2016 election, when Trump descended that golden escalator announcing his candidacy. A 2016 appearance on Real Time with Bill Maher, Carrey made his first notable anti-Trump statement. But as Trump's campaign gained momentum, Carrey's comments shifted from bemused to genuinely alarmed. During calling the candidate a used car salesman with a terrible spray tan, the audience laughed, but Carrey's eyes showed something more serious was brewing. No jokes, no rubber faces, just raw concern from a man who seemed genuinely frightened by America's direction. After Trump's election, the gloves came off completely. At the 2017 BAFTA Britannia Awards, Carrey used his acceptance speech to call out the greed and hatred that's killing our democracy. What's most fascinating about Carrey's transformation is how he repurposed his comedic talents for political messaging. His Instagram followers noticed a shift too, as inspirational quotes and silly selfies were increasingly replaced with pointed political observation. The performer who once made fart jokes was now crafting sophisticated political satire that cut deeper than most pundits. The same man who could contort his face into impossible expressions now used those skills to mimic Trump's pouty expressions in videos that went viral.
So you just kind of digest the news of the day.
It's an affirmation.
I'm glad some good is coming out of this stuff.
He wasn't just angry, he was strategically using humor as his weapon of choice.
Trump is toast.
And this is Robert Mueller?
Robert Mueller putting the squeeze on the president. That's Space Force.
That's the Space Force, yeah.
That's the beginning of Space Force.
He put brush to canvas, creating provocative political paintings that showed Trump in various unflattering scenarios. By 2018, Carrey had fully embraced his new role as a political commentator. He didn't just tweet his opinions, he went nuclear. With his trademark intense stare and animated expressions, he called Trump a rabid dog who was actively destroying America. What a shot it was. During a now infamous interview with Hollywood Reporter, Carrey didn't just criticize the president, "We have a rabid dog in the White House," Carrey declared, his face contorting into that intense expression we've seen in his most dramatic roles.
Oh, really?
And I don't
How'd
have
that
any of
go
those
over?
with me. She actually stole. Wow, look at this! I can do anything with it. Not working.
This wasn't just another celebrity throwing shade. This was Jim Carrey channeling every ounce of his expressive power into a political takedown.
Makes me feel good.
When you were a kid, would you draw caricatures of your friends, etc.?
I did. I drew pictures of my teacher.
MAGA Twitter exploded with angry tweets calling for boycotts of his movies, while liberal Twitter celebrated Carrey as their new political hero. Trump supporters immediately labeled Carrey as just another Hollywood liberal elite who should stick to making silly faces. It was like watching America split in half over a comedian's opinion, which pretty much sums up our political climate these days. It was how effectively the metaphor captured what he saw as Trump's leadership style. What made Carrey's rabid dog comment so powerful wasn't just the harsh language. Exactly how Carrey viewed Trump's presidency. The metaphor was simple enough for anyone to understand, but carried the serious implication that Trump posed a genuine threat to the nation. A rabid dog is unpredictable, dangerous, and out of control. The man who made us laugh for decades was now making us think, and that's what really got under some people's skin.
Just called Good Morning Hitler.
This is a bad angle for me. It's just a bad angle for me.
No, you look good. Yeah.
Stay away from this angle right here.
We can swap
got a
if you
giant
need.
screen there with the worst angle I've ever.
The comment section under every article about the interview became a microcosm of America's divided political landscape. Carrey's supporters praised him for speaking truth to power and having the courage to say what others won't. What many missed in all the outrage was how calculated Carrey's approach actually was. For those who had been following Carrey's evolving political voice, the rabid dog comment wasn't completely out of nowhere, but it represented a dramatic escalation in both tone and visibility. What happens when you give Ace Ventura art supplies and political rage? You get the president portrayed as a green-faced wicked witch of the West. Carrey went straight for the political jugular with a series of portraits that had Trump supporters clutching their pearls. These bizarre paintings quickly spread across the internet faster than Trump's latest Twitter meltdown. While traditional political cartoonists were drawing the usual caricatures with big hair, these weren't just random doodles either. Carrey knew exactly what he was doing when he surrounded his witch Trump with flying monkeys, creating metaphors so obvious even the most politically disengaged viewer could get the message. Carpet bombing of outrage that's happening now. Carrey explained about his artistic approach, and bomb he did. His visual grenades exploded across social media. And interestingly, Carrey's political paintings have generated more buzz than some of his recent movie roles. Others weren't so impressed, comparing his paintings to something a high school bully might doodle during detention. Love them or hate them, people couldn't stop talking about. His artistic second act proved that sometimes a celebrity's side hustle can outshine their main gig. While Hollywood might have been casting him less frequently, his artwork was making big waves in the political sphere. The man who once commanded $20 million per film was now commanding attention with a paintbrush and a Twitter account. What makes Carrey's Trump as Toast painting particularly clever is how the metaphor works on multiple levels. Toast is, well, crusty. Much like Trump's outdated views according to Carrey, toast is also what you are when you're finished or done for. Trump as toast, Trump as various villains, allowed Carrey to deliver serious political commentary while maintaining the humor that made him famous, kind of like some of Trump's more controversial policies. The whimsical yet cutting nature of these portraits, Trump with flying monkeys, it was as if he'd found a perfect middle ground between his comedic past and his activist present. But behind Jim Carrey's comedy lies a man genuinely worried about the collapse of truth in America. He's not just making fun of the president's appearance, he's using humor as his secret weapon against what he considers an existential threat to American value. It's why he's using his comedy background to bypass people's political defenses. When he delivers serious warnings about the dangers facing democracy through jokes. Talk about a plot twist nobody wanted. Carrey's concern goes beyond just Trump himself. He believes American media has become a glorified babysitter, spoon-feeding citizens what to think instead of teaching critical thinking. Viewers don't immediately put up walls of resistance like they might with a stern lecture from a politician. Carrey has found a way to communicate across the political spectrum, even if not everyone appreciates the message, highlighting comedy's unique ability to bridge political divides through shared laughter. By simplifying complex issues into to digestible jokes and visual metaphor. Jim Carrey's evolution from rubber-faced comedian to political artist isn't just a career change. It's a masterclass in how comedy can become a vehicle for social commentary. Carrey has discovered that making people laugh opens doors to making them think. When comedians take political stands, they're not just telling jokes. Like other satirical heavyweights, John Oliver and Stephen Colbert, one thing's clear: the guy famous for talking through his butt cheeks has found a more meaningful way to use his voice. They're creating viral moments that spark conversations among millions who might otherwise tune out traditional political discourse. And in these crazy political times, maybe we need our comedians to help us process the madness. After all, sometimes you've got to laugh to keep from crying.